Boy, have I been getting a ton of comments under one of my latest videos about the all-new yellow phase at Army Basic Training, talking about the all-new controlled monitoring. So with that being said, I've been getting a ton of comments below it talking about, hey Sergeant, should I join now or no? I've been getting direct messages, emails, everyone wants to know. They're thinking that basic training is ruined, that the Army is getting weak because we are wearing face masks and exercising social distancing. I'm here to set the record straight and answer that very question collectively so that I help you make a well-informed decision. Understand that there's a huge difference between when COVID hit back in March till now. A lot has happened, we've adapted, we've adjusted, and we are getting things done. So let's get to the bottom of this, and it starts right now. Hi, I'm Joe Sergeant SWARTZ, your local New York Army National Guard recruiter, conveniently recruiting for all of New York as a virtual recruiter. I am also a part-time drill sergeant for our National Guard's Recruit Sustainment Program. Here on this channel, I post a ton of Army basic training tips, recruiting, and other Army-related videos. So if that's what you're here for, consider subscribing, hitting that bell icon, and turning on all notifications so that not only will you be notified when I post a new video, but when I go live, answering your most desired questions. So without further ado, let's begin. The beginning of COVID was chaotic, and that is putting it nicely. It was crazy for the trainees at the basic training sites and AIT. It was crazy. Like, recruits training ship dates were getting canceled and rescheduled to like 6+ months away. Applicants and recruiters were getting frustrated because one day MEPS is open, one day MEPS is closed for 2 weeks, and they open for a day and they close again because they need to be quarantined because somebody tested positive for COVID. It was just nuts. It wasn't fun for anybody, Army-wide, to include the soldiers that are deployed overseas. It was seriously impacting everyone. Even my date to report to the Drill Sergeant Academy was also canceled. So the million-dollar question is, Sergeant, should I join now or nah? Is basic training really ruined, and is it making the Army weak by wearing masks and social distancing? I say no. Wearing masks and exercising social distancing and adhering to COVID-19 restrictions does not make the Army weak. It's actually smart. I mean, do you not wear your seatbelt in a vehicle? I mean, some states allow it, but the majority of states do. Because statistically speaking, if you don't wear a seatbelt and you find yourself in an auto accident, it significantly reduces fatalities. So with that being said, wearing a face mask does not make you weaker, it makes you smarter. It is just simply a safety measure to protect yourself and others for the mere simple fact that you may be asymptomatic and not realize that you have it and you are spreading it. To answer your question, yes, initially COVID ruined people's full total basic training experience. A lot of things got canceled, a lot of things stopped, things were just insane. So to answer your question, I say yes, join now, but hear me out, don't freak out. Hear me out before you post down below how you feel about it and what your opinion is and why, whether it's for joining now or for waiting till later. So let's get something straight. It is a very, very interesting time. Think about the stories that you could tell in the future. Like, think about it, 2030. Wow, you remember 2020? Do you remember what we did in that year? That was a crazy year. COVID came in here like Miley Cyrus and a wrecking ball. And you'd be like, yeah, man, I was in Army basic training. It was crazy times. We did X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. Stories for a lifetime. Basic training sucks. No matter how you dice it, chop it, slice it, it sucks. Yes, the training portion of basic training is fun, but those who have experienced Army basic training, you know what I'm talking about. I had to experience it twice. And with my experience at the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy, wearing face masks and exercising social distancing and dealing with all the COVID restrictions, I'm telling you, it's just a mere inconvenience. It's not stopping training. We've revamped everything. We brought back the majority of the training and experiences that one would experience at Army basic training. The one thing that they have not brought back is the Army Combatives, meaning the hand-to-hand combat for obvious reasons. And for most places, they're not doing the shark attack, and the majority of them are pushing the shark attack past yellow phase when they phase up into red phase. Outside of that, everything is back. It's just being modified and exercising COVID restrictions. It's just different. I honestly feel that when I was at the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy that I was never in danger. I felt that they actually cared for my well-being. They tested me for COVID, obviously negative, and I never felt that we were in danger at any moment while I was there. We took all the safety measures seriously. We always wore our masks. We hand sanitized often if we didn't have access to water and soap. And when we did go into the buildings, we washed our hands often. We maintained our 6 feet social distancing, and if we didn't, it wasn't uncommon for us to hear, 6 feet, SWARTZ! So with all the adjustments and all the safety measures in place, you have a near perfect experience at Army Basic Training. So after I share with you my thoughts and opinion on this particular subject, I want you to go down in the comment section and tell me whether you're for someone joining now and why, and if you feel that they should wait to go to Army Basic Training, put that as well with the why behind it. I appreciate it. So if you for some reason missed my video about the all new yellow phase, I'll put a card right up here for you to go check out, talking about the controlled monitoring I too experienced at the Drill Sergeant Academy for the controlled monitoring. Definitely check it out. Very, very informative. And it'll probably make you feel a lot more at ease in knowing what to expect. Or you can wait to the end of this video and I will post that video link for yellow phase down below in the description area for you to peep at afterwards. So between March and now, a lot of safety measures, like I said, have been in place. We're a lot more organized. We used to self-quarantine people immediately when they got to the training site for at least 2 to 3 weeks before going to Army Basic Training. Now, we didn't want to extend that training time period for the individual soldiers anymore. So now you're doing 5 days at the reception battalion. On the 5th day, you will move to Army Basic Training and immediately, and then that's when you would begin your all new yellow phase. That way, you're completing all of your training in the normal allotted time. I do anticipate that as time goes on, things get better or worse, the Army will forever change, update, and put in place new policies to adhere to the current situation of COVID-19. So in life, if you haven't figured it out, there is never a perfect moment or a perfect time to execute your decision on whatever it is that you want to do with your life. So with that being said, do your due diligence, do your research, get to know everything that's going on so that you feel best as you possibly can for what you're about to embark on. And once you decide, commit and give 200%. What I'm about to say, it goes for normal basic training experiences to even more so now. Embrace the suck. Basic training always sucks, but the training portion, like I said before, is fun. When you go through it, you will understand. It will click. And with that being said, just embrace the suck. Dealing with all the social distancing and the face masks and all that other jazz just makes it just a tad bit more inconvenient. In the beginning of COVID, training stopped. People were out in the field. They weren't sleeping in the barracks. They stopped eating at the chow hall or the DFAC. A lot of the training, the obstacle courses, the hand-to-hand combat, the first aid, the gas chamber, a lot of things changed. Now, again, like I said, we had things in place, we've adapted, we've adjusted, and we're overcoming just like the Army always does. So you are going to get your total Army basic training experience minus the combatives. Everything else is pretty much there, or get a modified version of things that would normally happen at basic training. So because we got organized and we put things in place, we now have as much as we possibly can, as close to as business as usual of basic training. So the original shark attack when you first get to Army Basic Training, which now you'll be going straight into yellow phase, does not have a shark attack. The majority of the training sites, from what I'm hearing from direct messages and other people, is that shark attack is now happening when you phase up into red phase and everyone is basically safe and has not contracted or tested positive for COVID-19. So you're still getting a version of this shark attack, just a little bit later. It's delayed. So with that being said, whether you join now, a few months from now, or even a year from now, nothing major is going to change. The policies, the current policies that we have in place now is not going to change much because this current yellow phase standard operating procedures and whatnot is already approved through the rest of this year, all of 2021, and going into 2022. It is definitely not going back to business as usual. It's gonna be modified, and I don't think anything is ever gonna go back to being normal. This is gonna be our new norm, and things will just adjust accordingly. So with that being said, prolonging your decision to serve is not going to do you a justice. Nothing is gonna change a few months to 6 months to even a year from now. So with that being said, if this is something that you're aspiring to do, commit to yourself and give 200%, pull the trigger and execute this decision. I mean, God forbid you get injured or arrested. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, I live in New York City. A lot can happen, whether you want it to or not. So with that being said, Do not put yourself in a position where you get into a car accident, you come down with an illness, or you hang out with the wrong crowd at the wrong time, and before you know it, the cops come and they swarm you all together, and boom, now you got a charge, and now we gotta wait for that because you have an open case. So if you're Gucciing out and you are otherwise eligible to join, let's go. Go for it. There is no perfect time or moment to execute your plan for yourself, so embrace it, go for it, commit to yourself. Don't be interested in something, be committed. Make it happen, get dedicated to yourself, and push on. If you're in New York and you want to join the New York Army National Guard, or at the very least get more information, shoot me a text today, #boss to get started, and I'll hit you up in the comments down below with whatever you want to talk about. And if I don't see you down in the comment section, I'll see you in the next video. That's it, video's over. Sorry, but you could definitely watch more. You can check out this video here, or maybe you can check out this video here. But you know what, actually, this video is pretty good. You should definitely watch this one. But actually, this one seems pretty great. You should definitely check out this video. But actually, why don't you watch them both? Try clicking them both